Nydiamar is a complete campaign overhaul mod that changes the entire map, adds a whole bunch of new quests, dungeons, minigames, items, and more. I really like this mod. It's been one of my favorite mods for a while, and I think it's very underrated. I've made a few videos on it now. I'll put them all in the description, but if you want to catch up with the content that's been added in this mod, you can click on the video on screen right now, because in this video, I just want to go over the new things that have been added with this most recent update, because it's super exciting and has reignited my passion for this specific mod. Biggest and most exciting change in this update is the addition of 7 new classes, merging Nydiamar with Grimer's widely loved Diablo 3 class mod. Remember, this is completely optional. You still have the option of downloading the standalone Nydiamar mod with all of the vanilla classes, and you can still have a lot of fun with that because Nydiamar adds a ton of new content. But these classes make this feel even more like a whole brand new game. So these are the classes from Diablo 3 that most people are familiar with by now. You'll find the Grim Dawn versions of classic skills like Earthquake, Arcane Orb, and Summon Gargantuan. And this mod also brings in some new item types like one-handed crossbows for the Demon Hunter class and two-handed swords that allow you to wield a shield with them as the Crusader like you can do in D3. Of course, with all of these new classes comes a ton of new items, all based on the legendaries and sets that you'd find in Diablo 3 that can potentially completely change your build's playstyle. All of these new items can be found in the normal drop pool, but you can visit Hagrid the blacksmith below the Edge of Eternity to trade in these new Forgotten Souls materials and a bunch of iron bits to roll random Diablo 3 legendaries based on your level. And this mod also adds a ton of cool new components that are based off of the whole gem socketing system of Diablo 3. And you can also use Hagrid the blacksmith to craft a Kanai's Cube version of most of the Diablo 3 legendaries in the game that basically just turns their effect into a relic that you can equip. There's a really good video by my fellow YouTuber Grimpedia that goes over all of the Diablo 3 classes pretty nice and concisely, and from what I understand, these used to be a bit unbalanced, but the mod creator has since been really hard at work rebalancing and remaking these classes to make sure they fit the whole Grim Dawn style, and right now it looks like it's in a really good spot. A lot of these classes are really well made, the animations are just really well done, and the effects are awesome. I'm just very happy to see these classes merged with Nydiamar. I've always felt like the complete campaign overhaul that this mod is would go so great with just a few new classes, especially with this specific class mod that is definitely one of the most well-made ones out there. Mixing these new classes with each other or with the vanilla classes now creates endless possibilities. It's a ton of fun. There is just so much you can do now. And there is now a completely new dungeon minigame. I don't even know what to call it. It is such an interesting and creative thing that I never thought would be in any Grim Dawn mod. So on the east side of the Edge of Eternity, there's now a portal that you need to be level 30 to enter. It will lead you to a brand new area, the Sedha Ruins, that houses this really crazy new monster arena game. Something that I never expected to be added to a Grim Dawn mod, but it is just super fun. There are 2 main items that you'll be collecting from normal monster drops that you'll use in this arena: bundles of currency and soul vessels, both split between 3 rarities. You use these soul vessels on the anomaly to catch a random creature from a variety of creature types depending on the vessel's rarity, and then you can use these captured creatures to battle opponents in the arena of Sedha by interacting with this lectern that is overlooking the battleground. These battles cost currency of Sedha, which you can get by opening these bundles of currency that you've been collecting. Then you click challenge an opponent. At first, you'll only have tier 1 available, but you can unlock the next tier up upon defeating the pink enemy at the top of the list. And there are 5 tiers of enemies, and every tier you go up, you'll be rewarded more and more. The number beside each opponent is the cost of the currency that you'll have to spend to fight it, but also the limit of summon points that you can use to fight, which is the number beside all of the souls that you'll be choosing to battle for you. And you can choose multiple allies to summon, but they will not summon all at once. They'll summon one after another as they die. The cost of the fight and your summon points used will determine how many iron bars you'll earn if you win. If you're fighting wasps that cost 40 currency and you use all 40 summon points worth of monsters to defeat them, you won't earn any iron bars. But if you use only 20 summon points of monsters to beat them, you'll get quite a few iron bars. The formula is a lot more complicated than that, but that's the simplest way I can put it, and you can spend a bunch of iron bits to increase your summon point limit by 25% or 75% until you win, without affecting your iron bar rewards. And now these iron bars are a new currency item that can be traded at the lectern for a bunch of different rewards. The simplest and main reward that you'll probably be getting are these loot orbs that we're familiar with from this mod, to special new items that you can use to become more powerful in or out of the arena. The most interesting reward here is the binding stone, which you can use at the anomaly to bind any of your souls to. Destroying the stone will summon these souls to help you fight anywhere in the world. The other super interesting thing you can buy is these capture apparatuses, or you can just encounter them from normal rare drops. Check the bestiary to see which bosses you can capture using these, and when you destroy it, you'll have 60 seconds to kill the boss, and then it'll be captured into the anomaly. And then you can use that boss's soul to put into a binding stone that you can then use to summon to help you anywhere later. This is a really interesting and creative new dungeon, minigame, whatever you want to call it. It's a completely optional thing. If it doesn't look right to you, you don't have to deal with it. But it is super fun to make these monsters fight and then use these rewards for those sweet, sweet loot orbs, or just to summon a bunch of monsters to help you with the tough content that Nydiamar has to offer. Like I said, I never thought something like this would be in a Grim Dawn mod, but now that it is, I'm pretty happy because it is a lot of fun. There has been a bunch of other little changes since my last video on this mod beyond what I just talked about, like loot orbs are now called Bootkugel, which is German for loot orb, which is cool, and the addition of a bunch of new sound effects and background musics along the areas, a new Mystic River dungeon that you can find in the desert, a bunch of new bosses added in the existing areas to help with the monster infrequent hunt, which was a bit of an issue before, and big changes to existing areas like a completely new puzzle that you have to solve to get through the passage, and there's a lot more stuff. This mod is so good. I'm really happy to see it get updated like this. The new classes alone are what made this mod super exciting for me again. I hope it's just as exciting for you as well, and I really do recommend you playing it if you haven't already because it is just so much fun. It's the same old Grim Dawn we know and love, the same mechanics and everything, but there's just a bunch of new stuff, a bunch of new classes, a bunch of new items, and it's just really cool. So thank you for watching the video. This was a short little just update video on the mod. If you like content like this, consider subscribing because I do like to make Grim Dawn mods content or Grim Dawn lore content. I just like to play Grim Dawn and make content on this game. I appreciate you watching. Have a great day.